Hey guys, Ed from Paranormal Inc. Ohio here, back at it again with another podcast episode. Funny story. I just thought that I recorded this entire episode. I sat here and said everything, and I'm like, cool, I recorded, I can get it ready to be published. I go back to the recorder, and the recorder was turned off. Yeah, I thought I turned it on. Evidently, I did not. So, we're going to try this again. Tonight's episode is a listener experience episode. Her experiences were from the Eloise asylum in Michigan. And the Eloise asylum, I've done a podcast on before, but this is an actual personal experience at the Eloise asylum in Michigan. Her name is Bridget. She is a listener. She's a follower. She follows us on everything. And I had made a post saying, hey, if you want to be on the podcast, let me know. Tell me your story, and we'll get you on there. And Bridget said, I'm a little shy to be on the podcast. Can you just tell my story? I said, absolutely, I can tell your story. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to read it to you in her words that she had wrote to me. That way you guys can have the feel of, who it was coming from and the feeling of the whole story. So this is the first story. Here in Michigan, just 10 minutes down the road from me, my whole life is an old mental asylum called Eloise Asylum in Westland, Michigan. It started as a poorhouse in 1839 and over the years became its own city, covering 902 acres with 75 buildings. It became a hospital, a sanitarium. It was known as Eloise in 1913, named after the postman's daughter. They do paranormal tours, and I also filmed with another paranormal team there in April of 2023. During the filming, I was drawn to a certain stairwell, not in use, and it was pitch black. As I stood at the top, looking into the darkness, a very strong energy rushed through me, and it knocked me back. One of the other investigators told it to back off, and it cannot do that. And as soon as she confronted it, there was 3 loud bangs from the bottom of the steps. We at first ran out screaming, but us and the medium of the group went down the stairs, and in the light of the doorway to the hall on the floor below us was a huge black mass that was so big it blocked the light, and as soon as we pointed it out, it disappeared. It was scary and very exciting at the same time. I went back again for a 6-hour tour in May and had a few other encounters that time. But then she said she doesn't want to overload me, so she didn't want to say anything, and that's where I said, I've been on multiple investigations. You are not overloading me. Please continue. Send me what you can and send me what you want. I'd love to tell your story. So after I put that, she sent me story number 2. And it goes, I was in one of the isolation rooms where they kept the worst and dangerous inmates, as they called them, and was laying in a bed. That was my first mistake. And as I laid there, I saw the heavy metal window bars swing open just a little. And immediately after, something grabbed my left leg at the calf, freaked me out, and I left the room right away. It left bruises that actually looked like fingers. I have pictures of this. About a half hour later on my Ovilus, I got the worst. Excuse my language. It said, F this girl. That area was known for housing rapists. So that in itself was very creepy. In the doctor's suite, I left the rapist area right away. In the doctor's suite apartment, I just got very heavy chested. And it's super hard to breathe. And in the day room, a massive pressure in my head, like it was a vice grip, and someone had to walk me out. I could barely stand up till I exited the room. That's it. But it was a very active place, and I have been obsessed with it since I was 10 years old. Thank you so much for telling my story. I've never told anyone this except for my husband and some of my friends. People think I'm nuts. Now, what I'll tell her is, people think I'm crazy too. They think I'm just insane because I'm into this stuff. You're not crazy. You experienced it. It's real. And I'm more than happy to tell your story. And anybody else out there that's listening to this, find me on paranormalincohio.com. Send me a direct message. Tell me your story. I'll tell your story. Or comment on this episode here on Spotify or Spotify for Podcast or whatever you're listening on. Comment here. Tell me your story. I'll tell it. Now, the reason why she got the F this girl, which I'm thinking that's what it said, F this girl, is she was in the housing for rapists. Now, when you have a housing unit like that, whether it be in an insane asylum, a prison, or anything like that, a sanitarium, where the bad of the bad is where these rapists and murderers are housed. Unfortunately, this behavior continues on for years, even though they're incarcerated. They do it to each other. They'll do it to staff. And it's sad, but it's true. These guys love it. They love doing it. It's a rush to them. So they continue to do it. They either be killing or raping. Not saying that all killers continue to kill in prison or all rapists continue to rape in prison. I'm just saying there is a lot that still do. They have to do it. So when that happens, that negative energy stains the land, the walls, the floor, everything in this building with that negative energy. And negative energy can create and manifest something evil, something demonic. Some of these guys they're in prison or in insane asylums and stuff. They want to do devil worship or a different type of evil religions, and that can conjure up something. By the way, if you hear the barking, it's my dog. He has a voice too. He likes to bark. So, but anyway, and if you hear that, that's my son. He's currently arguing with his mom, probably, or his sister. So anyway, that energy can go there, and this demonic can come out. And all it needs is just one person to come out. And it'll attach to you. And it'll do everything in its power to make you miserable, depressed. It'll make you want to commit suicide. It'll go inside of you and make you commit these bad, heinous things. And then it goes on and on and on after that. Continuously over the years. This person does it. This person does it. It's almost like a cancer. It just continues to feed and feed and feed until it kills and just continues to do so. Continues on. So that all stains that building. So you got to think all these years, even if the building is in commission, like if it's in service, I get what she said, that she's obsessed with the building because something in there is trying to communicate with her. Something in there is trying to talk to her. Something in there is trying to get Bridget's attention. And then, only thing I can tell Bridget or anybody else that does this is you have to notice the early warning signs. You'll start getting depressed. You'll start getting bad dreams that turn into nightmares. You'll start getting lethargic. You'll fight with everybody. The people you love, you will push away the hardest because the demon knows that those people can save you. So if you start feeling all that, the oppression, it's the four stages of demonic possession. There's infestation, oppression, depression, and then possession. And it wears you down until it does that. Because I was in the same way. I was obsessed with Ashmore Estates. I went there a lot. And that's pretty far from me. That's about a 5.5 hour drive. I was obsessed with this place. I got some of my best evidence there. When the storm came through and ripped the ceiling off and the roof off, I donated money to have it fixed because I did not want this place to go away. I did not want this place to fall. Until one investigation, I saw something that scared me and terrified me so much. This was in 2000 and I believe 10 or 2011, and I have never been back. I've done podcasts on Ashmore Estates. I talk about Ashmore Estates. I don't mind it, but I don't know if I'd ever step foot in that building again. And that thing followed me. It followed me back, and it started wreaking havoc with me until I had to go through the proper steps to get rid of it. But yeah, and I was obsessed with Ashmore just like she's obsessed with, Eloise. So those are her stories. I want to thank Bridget so much for contacting us, getting a hold of us, giving us her stories, and having us tell them. Thank you so much, Bridget. If you have any more in the future, let me know. Like I said, if anybody on here listening has a story, find us on paranormalincohio.com, send us a direct message, find us here, comment on whatever platform you're listening on for the podcast, get a hold of us, let me know. I'll tell your story as well. And you can always go to paranormalincohio.com and check out all the hunts I've done. We have interactive posts. We post every day. We have crystals for sale. We have sage for sale. We have jewelry for sale to put the crystals in. We have all that there. And we want you to go there and check things out. Follow us, check it out. You can go to the Paranormal League Ohio group page, which does everything that I just said there as well, but a little more in depth into some of the hauntings. You can join us there. TikTok, Paranormal League Ohio. Go to the YouTube page. I'm starting to just have it blow up. I'm going to do more and more on there. It's also, you guessed it, paranormalincohio.com on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. I really do. Thank you all so very much. I love each and every one of you for coming out and checking this out. And I hope you guys have a great evening. And I will talk to you guys. Because again, we're at the future episodes. We are going to have more listener encounters, more listener experiences with the paranormal. So again, if you guys are hearing this, you want your story out there, but you don't think you can tell it, let me know. I'll tell it. and I'll give you guys a shout out, everything. So enjoy your evening. You will hear from me for the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone.